This is Congressman Frank Pallone. Thank you for joining me on Facebook Live, which we try to do every Friday around around noon or so. Just talk a little bit about some of the things we've been doing this week. Congress was not in session this week. As you know, the previous week we had the what I call the terrible budget reconciliation bill that's going to really hurt people, particularly when it comes to health care. So many people are going to lose Medicaid or lose their Obamacare subsidies, or there are always going to be cuts in Medicare. But I'm not going to go through all of that again today, because I think you've heard about it. But you're going to hear a lot more from me, because this bill is now in the Senate, and we have to try to make sure that it doesn't become law. But this past weekend was Memorial Day, and I know I had a great opportunity to go around and go to a lot of the parades. I think I went to parades in, let's see, Bradley Beach, Edison, Highland Park, and New Brunswick. Also in Old Bridge. I don't know, there may have been others. Those are the ones I think I can remember. And then, of course, other Memorial Day services in Carteret, for example. And it was really a great opportunity to pay tribute to those veterans who actually died for our country. I always, make the distinction between Memorial Day, that, of course, honors those who perished as a result of helping and fighting for our country, and then, of course, Veterans Day is for the veterans in general. But I always think of all the veterans on Memorial Day, and talk about the things that we need to do for those who do come back as well, to make sure that they can get an education through the GI Bill, that they have health care through the various veteran clinics and hospitals, and there's so many other things. One of the things we're working on right now is the veterans nursing homes. We have one in Menlo Park in my district in Edison, and there's one in Paramus that we're trying to get some major grants for, to upgrade those facilities. But thank everyone who helped make Memorial Day weekend and these events honoring our soldiers and sailors so successful. It's always great to see so many people come out to the parades and to the ceremonies. I wanted to talk a little bit about a few other things, though, that happened this week, even though Congress wasn't in session. We were able to, I think I mentioned before, that we were able to secure changes to federal rules so that families who were being forced to repay federal disaster aid in the aftermath of Sandy and would no longer have to do so. And these are people who were basically encouraged by federal agencies in the aftermath of Superstorm Sandy to apply for loans and grants, and later found out that they weren't eligible for these grants, not through no fault of their own. It wasn't like they did anything wrong, and they were encouraged to apply. And so I felt that the effort to claw back the funding from them, which most of them don't have, was wrong. And so we finally did get relief for many of them, so they wouldn't have to repay federal disaster aid. I think so far over 400 households are expected to see more than $60 million in relief. If you want more information about this program, you can go on our website, which I'm going to give you the information later, and read more about it, or call our offices. If we'll give you those telephone numbers later as well. But as many people as possible who might be eligible now for this relief, so they don't have to pay this money back, should simply contact us. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that there's a bill or a statute called the Beaches Act, which I've been involved with for a long time, that basically sets up a federal program. Money goes to the states and to the counties to test water quality, primarily in the ocean, before people swim. And now, of course, the summer season is here because it's already past Memorial Day. And what this program does is it requires that for the beaches, in this case the Jersey Shore, but it's for the whole country, are tested. And then if the pollution or quality or standards are not met, then the beach has to be closed, and then it's tested again on a daily basis until it gets better, in which case it's opened again. So this week, we announced $266,000 that was being awarded to the state, which again goes to the counties for the most part, to monitor water quality along the lines of what I just described under the Beaches Act. And we're also working to update the Beaches Act, so not only can we get more funding for this, but also be able to track where pollution comes from. Because right now, the Beaches Act primarily focuses on whether or not the water's polluted. I'd like to also to be involved in actually tracking the sources of the pollution so it doesn't happen again. I also want to mention along the lines of veterans that we introduced a congressional resolution this week to honor the Jewish war veterans of the United States. I've, been seen or, been involved with the Jewish war veterans for a long time. I was surprised to learn the organization was started during the Civil War, but of course it's still going strong today. So this May is still Jewish American Heritage Month, and this resolution was introduced in May to honor the Jewish war veterans. Now they also, the Jewish war veterans, I should say, is a support social service organization. They support military families. They teach the public about anti-Semitism and the Holocaust. But the main thing we wanted to focus on was the fact that they are out there, and like so many service organizations, want to encourage members, young people, to join the military and get involved. They've been around 123 years, so congratulations. And the last thing I wanted to mention is my fight for public health programs. I've been very upset over the fact that President Trump's Health and Human Service Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., has been slashing all kinds of public health programs, jobs. Right now, programs have been slashed for 9/11 responders, for seniors, for people with HIV, for New Jerseyans who need help with energy bills, with food safety programs. And so far, we're learning about these cuts, layoffs, cuts in programs, freezing of funds for public health, primarily through the media. They don't notify us. And my committee, the Energy and Commerce Committee, where I'm the chief Democrat or ranking Democrat, has been sending letters after letters saying, what is it you're doing? Why are you, in the case of the 9/11 responders, we have these programs in various states. One's in our district at the Bush campus of Rutgers University, where someone who was impacted by 9/11, toxic fumes, whatever, whether as a first responder or if they happen to just be there that day working, can go to this clinic and get help, treatment, if you will. It's actually free, but even more than free, it's very specialized treatment that you would need because of the impact of this toxic dust, if you will, that many people who were in downtown Manhattan or in the area, even in New Jersey, experienced. And at one point, the Trump administration had cut jobs there, and then we fought, and they put the jobs back. And then we heard that they were cutting them again, and then we had to make sure that they were not firing people there. So, all these public health programs have been either had layoffs or funding freezes, and it's just making it very difficult for public health programs nationally or even statewide to continue operating in a way that's useful for the average American. So we're not only asking Secretary Kennedy to respond to our letters, but also asking him to come into the committee and testify in public before the committee about what these changes are and how they're affecting people's lives and why they're being done. There should be transparency. There should be accountability on the part of Secretary Kennedy that doesn't exist right now. We'll be going back into session next week, so Congress will be in session. We have a number of things we're going to be working on, and I'll talk about those next week. But before I finish, let me mention how to contact me, because I've already mentioned that you might want to contact us for for Sandy relief and clawbacks and for other things. So we have two offices, one in New Brunswick for Middlesex County, which is at 67/69 Church Street or Kilmer Square. And the phone number there is 732-249-8892. And for Monmouth County, we have an office in Long Branch at 504 Broadway, phone number 732-571-1140. Both offices open 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, except on federal holidays. And if you want to stay in touch online, you can follow me on X, or what used to be Twitter, at my name, at Frank Pallone, on Instagram at Rep Frank Pallone, so that's REP Frank Pallone. And then our website is pallone.house.gov, G-O-V. And you can email us directly on the website by clicking contact and then email Frank, or you can subscribe to the e-newsletter that we generally send out every Friday that gives more details, about a lot of things I'm talking about now on Facebook or other issues. And you can just figure out, you can go on the website, pallone.house.gov, and give the information how to subscribe to the e-newsletter, which generally speaking goes out every Friday, and one will go out today. So thank you again, and have a good weekend. This is Congressman Frank Pallone.